Yes.
So when they're laying on the gremlin, I think it was a gremlin, I'm fucking with the flames on it and shit.
Yeah.
And
when Garth is whistling.
yeah, you just hear this beautiful whistle, and he's like
Yeah.
doing that whole. That there's like a vibrato he's doing on the whistle. It's fucking awesome.
And the planes come over.
Yeah, and they go. It's a fucking great scene. That's just their Friday night after the fireworks is the name of the club.
It's a classic.
And then Garth shocks that guy. Fucking great movie.
Dude. So, bro, you want to mess around? Okay.
Pretty much.
He all tosses like the dildo attached to the. Looks like a dildo attached to a bunch of electrodes. Silly.
With the ninja moves and stuff.
Let me
yeah,
see
it was
that.
a great movie.
Let me see that pipe.
Welcome to Mammals Wild, episode 8.
8,
maybe.
maybe.
I think it's 8.
Episode something.
I think the correct term is 17.
Post Mother's Day.
Post Mother's Day. Shenanabangs.
What's been up with you guys? Anything cool?
Put our 2 weeks in early for work. Early.
Oh, yeah.
It's supposed to be this week, but fuck
Nice.
it. Next week.
Fuck it.
This is the last week. I'm working 2 days this week.
They already knew, though, right?
Mute's coming up
Oh, yeah. When's that?
Wednesday.
Isn't that this Wednesday?
Yeah.
Son of a bee. So we don't get another practice, really.
That kind of is our practice.
Well, no, Mute, and then Friday is not Ming's thing. Next Friday.
Oh, next. Oh, okay. Well, we got a couple.
Shout out to Ming, the moon.
Word.
Toss it up to the moon. She got a great thing going on down there. Dude, story time.
Yep.
This time, Nick's in like 5th grade. Okay, 5th grade drug dealing Nick. Did we tell the story yet? I don't think we did. I think I told you guys, but I'm going to tell the world.
Jeez.
So I'm in 5th grade, and I don't know where I thought it was cool, but I was convincing kids that I had speed, or God, I'm pretty sure I called it speed, or I called it probably something else. I don't even think I called it speed, but I was convincing people that I had drugs. And I was selling drugs. They're trying to sell drugs to these little kids. I'm like, come on, buy it, take it.
How little of kids?
I'm 5th grade, so I got to be
So
like
the same age as you?
yeah,
Sketchy.
yeah, real fucking sketchy kids. So
That's
there's
cool.
this other kid, Chris. Man, we'll just say his name.
I'll bleep it out in post.
Chris.
I'll
And,
bleep it twice. It's okay.
Yeah, was the one that fucking actually ratted on me because I was like, Chris was older than me, motherfucker.
Oh, shit.
So I'm
Well,
all,
he was
Chris, I got
man.
these drugs. And he's like, oh, like, yeah, give me some. And so I was like, yeah, here you go. And he didn't take it. He went up to the fucking teacher, ratted me out. The teacher came to me and was like, Nick, I hear you're selling drugs. And I was like, no. And she's like, yeah, well, what do you got? I was like, well, these little metal bars that hold the shelves on when you put a shelf together. And she was like, and you're going around telling people they're drugs? I was like, yeah. And she was like, Nick, you can't fucking do that. And I was like, oh, my bad. And so 5th grade, I'm trying to convince kids that these tiny little metal bars are pills of speed. And
Oh, so kids may have eaten metal.
yeah.
Okay, that's fucking crazy.
So I'm
I was
feeding.
gonna say, I don't get it. How are they supposed to smoke the drugs?
So I'm
They were
feeding.
probably all lead based too. So
Yeah, I'm
these
feeding
kids are
these
all-
kids like little lead-based fucking posts from these shelves.
I'm looking at
I'm a fucking asshole
Evanston
kid,
High School.
dude. I got more stories. Than
So the
that,
podcast is
so.
gonna start after this story. I
That
don't
was
think we're
amazing.
keeping that. No, I'm kidding.
Bullshit. We're putting this on there.
That was really amazing. I just wanted to bring up the moon in Santa Cruz.
The moon.
Word.
You can book her online 507
What,
Cedar
what does
Street,
Ming
Santa
do?
Cruz.
What is it that Ming does at the moon?
It says here a rainbow healing hub of all things hair and acceptance in downtown Santa Cruz.
Nice.
So she'll cut your hair and they'll accept you.
Accept you as you're cutting hair.
They accept us. They'll accept you. That's for
Absolutely.
Gender affirming haircuts also. I'm
sure.
pretty
Yeah, they're
sure.
sweet.
Yeah.
Ming's always got dope hair. I remember. I think she had like super short pink hair,
Yeah.
bright pink hair when we met her. Or when I
Yeah,
met
and
her.
she's super friendly.
Very cool, and
Down to
then-
earth.
God bless all our friends and everyone.
And everyone. Reality is that was a fun party. I think that was Ming's
That was the opening of the
Opening
moon,
of
I
Mean's
believe.
party. I think
That-
we're doing
that
another
was-
thing here.
That was like our first show, wasn't it?
Yeah, first Friday coming up, June 2nd. We're gonna play there. Pretty sure I gotta
Oh, it makes
reconfirm.
about it. Sweet.
Make sure she's not
Hopefully.
all.
Oh, dude, if we were just shouting them out, I'm deleting this whole fucking thing except for where we talk shit on.
Awkward.
Dead air. Oh,
Dead
I dropped
air.
my phone too. I'm scared. Well,
Yeah, whatever. Dude, so when I was in
we can't delete
kindergarten,
that.
I straight tried to convince the teacher that you could do cursive numbers.
what'd the teacher say?
She fucking was like, "No, you can't." And I was like, "I can prove it." And she's all, "Okay, get up here and prove it." So I hopped up there, and I just started connecting all the numbers together, and she was just like, "No." And I was like, "Well, I did it, you know." And so
Yes.
that's Mrs. Thorpe. Throw it up to Mrs. Throw Up. Miss Throw Up.
Dude, so I
Dude.
just did. I think I told Tony, but I don't think I told you. I
Tell
just
me.
did work with Colin at my old principal's house,
No.
Richard Davis.
Oh, really? Mr. Davis.
It was a trip. I show up in the morning in my gnarly overalls with like my bucket of tools and shit. I was just like, I remember you. I only was like in your office a few times for truancy. And he was just like, I don't fucking remember deadbeats. Basically, was like, he was like, oh, were you friends with my daughter? And I was just like, yeah, I knew her. And it was just
He's
like,
like,
it was
"Listen
so
here,
funny."
deadbeat."
Right? She hung out with deadbeats like you those.
I'm just about to go live on the Instagrams right here.
The hell are you looking at, Tony? What do you got for us?
So
What do you got, Tone?
was just looking up the Sacramento Sentinel, I think it is, and they apparently there was a 5.5 magnitude earthquake and it hit right off Northern California coast, about 60 miles off the coast.
Should we be weary of tsunamis happening shortly?
Maybe some killer waves.
Killer whales, maybe. Hey, yo. So,
Was that today?
Yeah, that was it was about 2.5 hours ago.
dang. Also, that's going to be crazy. When those waves get near us, shit's going to be big. I do want to throw a music thing out there. My buddy Larry, his mom her house burnt down. I've been doing music I've done music with Larry for a long time. I DJ'd with Larry, show Lee Jade how to dairy. I showed Larry how to DJ back in the day also. Throw it up. You know it's true, Larry. So whenever you become rich and famous from all your fucking DJ gigs.
Have we met Larry?
I think you met Larry.
Probably.
Scare
Sounds
Bear?
like a familiar name.
Larry Scary.
He was the
You had that friend
he
that
was the
like
one that
almost
brought
would
the
beat
friend
fuck
over
out
that,
of.
like had the
Yeah.
pistole or whatever.
Oh, word.
Anywho, I wanted to throw it up for Larry, and if you can donate to Larry's cause, because Larry Bear, his mom, needs some shit.
He's a good guy.
We'll throw up a Venmo code or something.
Throw it up. We'll throw up a little tag. I'll put your thing on the podcast.
Hopefully
Larry.
it'll be right here.
That guy's
right
a killer
about there.
drummer. Also, maybe he came and played the drums that one Saturday. I think probably at one point.
Possible.
No, I remember the dude.
Yeah, crazy, dude. Speaking of music, right? We are trying to do, or I'm trying at least to push myself enough to like whenever we record and get a song a week, and I got some new stuff. Probably gonna be done with the rest of it today, and then we'll have another new song for the podcast at the end of the week here, whenever we post it
Nice.
again.
Well, hopefully, I'm shooting for Tuesdays because if we can record it every Sunday, I can typically spend the time to, I don't know. Depends on how long it takes. Like, it took me like 4 hours to do the last one just because I was like super thorough with it. But that was a shorter one too. That was only 40 minutes. I don't know. We'll see if I can hold off my, masturbation time for a couple hours.
For when I decide to get my sexy time on.
Tell you what.
Dude,
Anyways,
yeah. So we'll
Tuesdays. Hopefully Tuesdays we'll be posting them. If not Wednesday.
yeah.
Sounds good.
Because Wednesday is the day where everything's fucking rolling over in our world anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, I heard your shit through the
Sorry
mic.
about
That was
It,
cool.
It's a little
Pop,
hollow today.
snap, crackle. So I was talking before we got on the mic about Richard D. James, a.k.a. Aphex Twin for the people that don't know.
I didn't know.
Yeah. There's probably a good amount. He point is
Yeah.
he, I would say, was the first. Like, I was thinking about it the other day. I watched a documentary kind of on his whole album releases, mostly on just his album releases, not necessarily his life, but it kind of through all of the interviews that he's ever done through Mix Magazine or BPM or all these like electronic music like sites that have interviewed him. He's kind of like the Frank Zappa of music, bro. It's of electronic music. It's actually really cool. Go ahead.
Pause for 1 second. So I know the name Aphex Twin. Give me like a couple songs maybe that I would know.
Window Liquor, maybe.
Do you want me to look?
But it's we would
We'll
not
show-
be able to play it. But
We'll show a few, like Window Liquor or like.
What kind of music is it? Other
That's
than
like the most popular one. There's Ambient Works, Selected Ambient Works,
like EDM.
1985 to 1995.
Okay,
Which
kind
is
of old school shit then.
Way old.
Okay, got it. That's why I know the name.
But the thing is like I said, he's like the Frank Zappa of electronic music. He's not necessarily because he had a whole bunch of influences other than electronic music that he liked to listen to, and he never mentioned Frank Zappa. But when he in his interviews,
I know what you mean.
But in his interviews were all like, Madonna came to him and was like, "I want to do a song," and he's all, "Nah." He straight told Madonna no because he was like, I'm not fucking into making. He had already made and so much money as an electronic music producer back in the 90s.
Right.
This is all before, bro. This is all before that. This is before.
I thought Fatboy Slim was 90s.
Yeah, but Fatboy Slim was like 96, 97.
Okay, like early.
Yeah, he was like, dude, 85 to 1990s when he got signed on to like his first record label or somewhere around there. And basically it was because they had forced him to, because he was super hammered, and they were like, yeah, you're gonna fucking release some music. And he's like, all right. And basically he was just so prolific in the underground scene, like everybody knew him, and he wasn't trying to release anything, and he would just show up with like a computer, before computers were like tiny. He'd show up with his desktop and like all of his stuff, and he'd start like making music like that way. And he was just like a rebel. He was like the dude that would be the transfer guy from there would be like Acid House or some shit playing, and he would be the dude to go from there to like transfer you out of the club kind of thing. So
sounds like he's more like Les Paul, because his shit obviously a little bit of a mixture, but Les Paul's the dude who invented I believe it's the humbucking pickup. He invented a bunch of shit, like 8-track recording, I think, right. number of things, which it seems like he was very much a pioneer of the technology. The dude, what's his name again?
His name's Richard D. James.
Richard D. James, yeah. Seems like he was a pioneer technologically a lot.
Oh yeah,
probably equally as to like the music that he made. Like figuring out like the shit that we're all doing now, Looper and all that stuff included.
Yeah, his album songs were like 4 Cornish Acid, peak 824545201. Shit like that. Milkman.
Did he do a lot of drugs?
Beatles, Girl Boy. I don't know. He might have. Like I said, he's very when you listen to the interviews, he's super anti-mainstream, and if you listen to all the music, you have to be into electronic music basically. And then from there on out, you could tell people were trying to emulate him, because what he had done with the drum synthesizers and the drum loopers, he started exploiting them to the point that they were and just putting that over real ambient noises and some bass work and shit, and wasn't trying to make the drums the forefront of everything, but yet used them to kind of fill things in, and ever since his I think self-titled album dropped and all of that kind of style of music came out on it, it was people were trying to copy that left and right. Propeller Heads, The Prodigy, anybody was trying to get after that. It's crazy because think about this: 1995 and shit. Robert Miles, like trance music, was huge. I'm like fucking like 11, thinking about this shit. And then
I'm so unfamiliar with like all of these.
and
names.
trance music is, bro. Robert Miles was like top of the European charts kind of thing for his fucking songs and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, excuse my knowledge, I've dropped all the fucking like information that I never knew about trance out of my fucking head. Learned other shit, but sorry about that, world. But the reality is Robert Miles had some hits, and then I don't know, pretty cool though. Aphex Twin, Richard D. James, the guy was like definitely a Zappa for his time because he was, like I said, anti-mainstream, brother.
So they have here, it says that they got like 3 or 4 songs of his were used in like UK TV advertisements, mobile phone companies, the U.S. government anti-drug advertisement. And he also did a U.S. Bank of America commercial, and one for the Special Olympics.
Olympics?
The Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Olympics. Got it. It's different than the Olympics.
Yes.
Right. Olympics. Special Olympics. Anyways, so on about the Special Olympics.
They couldn't use the O because if you said Olympics, then
it's
that
not allowed anymore.
It's not allowed.
Because Cheerios sued them for the O. Can't use
Cheery O. Ooh, let's talk about the looper.
The looper
Yo,
is so much
Boss.
fun.
Boss made this fucking looper that we added to our gear recently.
Oh.
And
Blast a pick.
We'll blast a pick, and maybe even a little bit of the shenanigans we did the other night.
Yeah, I've got videos of that. You're right.
Oh, we got videos of that. We got some shenanigans. So, point is we were playing around with the yeah, we were opening up worlds, crossing worlds with the looper, like using the microphone to start making beats, and we made this one kind of vocal tribal, like real. I mean, tribe. I hate using the word tribal. I'm gonna call it tribal. It's just very like acapella.
I think tribal's the right
percussive,
word too.
acapella driven, tribal-ish. Bunch of bandmates screaming into a mic. But yeah, dude, the Boss looper. What's the?
Do you have the model number of that one by chance, Scott?
RC600.
RC6. Okay.
Dude.
So that's like the latest one as well.
I think super good.
RC, right? Are you finding
Boss.
it? The red,
oh yeah.
You know what it looks like.
Boss RC600. We got the red one. I'm telling you.
The red one.
I'm telling you, it's killer. It has a quantize kind of to your own beat, and then you can set it to the tempo that you want to set it to, or you can adjust the tempo that let's say you just recorded something and something and it's not on tempo with everything else, you can actually move it to the closest like integer would be like 21 to 22, be right in the middle. You can move it to one or the other.
If you recorded at 120.08 or whatever, then you can move it up to 121 or down, depending on what the original goal was. Or if you're really good, you don't have to fucking worry about that. But I think most people probably are using some sort of a quantized function who are looping, if I had to guess.
Right, just to make sure things were on point.
But this is by far the best looper I've ever used, and I've had an experience with at least like, and I mean this is a low number, but like at least like 5 or 6 of them. I've owned a couple, and then had pretty extensive use with a couple friends' pedals.
Right. I've never really even used. I used one. Well, I have one looper that I've used, and I don't even know what the fuck I was doing with that thing. And I mean, makes it really easy. It's friendly. You can mix each channel. You can mix the overall mix. It's actually really good. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Throw it up for Boss
Yeah.
RC600.
And then whatever the hell the other one is, they I don't know. It works great together. That's for sure.
Yeah. Got old Mr. America over here with the glasses and the band on.
We still have like so much weird troubleshooting and figuring out, because now we just figured out today that we don't really need my fucking tube amp to perform.
Right.
Like we like it for recording, which we discussed, and I was kind of noticing a bit of a hollow sound from some of the effects today without the amp backing it up.
Right.
Because the amp's got balls, and these do too, but they're not. It's not the same thing as like a big ass, burly tube amp.
Right.
But I don't know, man. I think that with just tweaking of these pedals and stuff, we can figure out the tone to be acceptable at least. It still won't be the same as, some badass shit, but solid state can rock too,
Yeah, and even then it just helps. I can, once we get further into it, I can start chopping things up a little differently, and samples will be different.
Right.
Things will be done differently. But yeah,
that's cool that you're like going from, what would you say, from like analog to pretty much like digital.
Yeah, I mean,
at that
all
point.
and so it started with dumping the pedals, because the only really digital pedal I think I had, because everything else was like a no. I mean,
they're
I
all
don't
digital,
know. Digital
but
delay and shit. They all have microchips, but they were a lot more kind of basic than all of this stuff. But then dumping the pedal board and having what we have now is like, I don't know, night and day.
Right.
It's a lot more dependable for sure. You're not doing patch cables 50 different places. Like we have I was saying to you today when we were setting it up, it's so much more complicated actually as far as what's going on, but it's so much less cables and connections and just bullshit to deal with, because it's two big ass pedals and then running them to all these cool places and doing all this weird stuff with it. Microphone coming out of the amp, going into the amp, like doing all, multiple amps we can do, and then the recording, like,
right.
There's a lot of different options that we now have. Like, look at all the freaking inputs on the back of that thing. There's like 10 that we aren't using. Yeah. I think there's 10.
Let's see.
That's
1, 2,
pretty
3, 4,
good.
5, 6, 7, 8. I think it's 10. Anyways, no, we're lucky to be living in the age that we're living in, because shit is getting crazy with the new stuff that they're making available. I haven't been doing much research, but every now and again a page will come up with a new insane pedal that's, just like this, what do you even call it? Like some weird earth-shattering shit that no one's ever thought of before.
Right.
Like some crazy way of, having the waveforms do some weird thing, and then you bounce it off the fucking wall, and an old man
in his chair,
the gong, somewhere in his wheelchair. In Brooklyn, and then it bounces back, and because you pay the guy when you buy the pedal,
because you have to pay the guy with the gong.
It's a monthly fee. It's like 50 cents per pedal. So the guy's fucking making good.
50 cents per pedal per customer. He gongs a lot.
Yeah, he does a lot of.
It's that gong.
What do you call it? The food service thing. He does a lot of that. He does a lot of Grubhub. This guy. He's sitting
a lot
in
of
his chair
just sits
right
there
by the gong, because you can't be late. You got to be right on it with the pedal.
It's true.
He's got expert timing. He used to be a piano tuner, but now
he just gongs it.
These are those gongs were as fast as lightning.
Yep. His name's George.
Whoa.
Oh, we got a big bee in there.
What's up, buddy?
That's a big old honeybee.
I think it's a carpenter bee.
a honeybee.
Carpenter bee, pretty sure.
Well, he's out of here. See you
Black
later,
carpenter. He's all set.
He's gone.
Is that speaker or something?
One time I was in a sweat lodge, and there was a lizard in there.
Nice. How'd that
And
lizard
we were all
feel?
like, we got to get him out of there. And then one of the dudes was just like, he's going to be so happy in here. Are you kidding me? It's like 150 degrees, like, and moist. He's going to love it.
Right.
So he closed the flap and lit the fucking fire up and shit. We were just like, oh, fuck.
Did the lizard enjoy it?
I'm
sure the
saw
lizard could
again.
get out.
He could have gotten out.
Never
if he
saw the
wanted
lizard
to.
again after that point.
No, of course you don't see lizards.
You look
twice,
over. We
unless
look
you
over
catch
and
'em.
Dave's barbecuing him. He's
Yeah,
like, nah.
Cooking him on the hot
on
rocks.
the coals. Yeah, exactly.
Got a good sear on that one side.
What's up with music news? Anything
Belly
cool
down.
going on?
Anything cool? Anything cool? We're playing, like I said, playing Mings. Trying to get people to book us, but I think we got to start playing out like outside. just like playing and going and showing up to places. Got to do the legwork.
Well, and spread out a little bit. I know there's a lot of other places. I'm not going to name names right now, but a
Won't
lot of
name
other
drop.
places that I've talked to that we could definitely get our foot in the door. Sometimes all it takes, like if people aren't necessarily fired up on the music, whoever the booker is like just the foot in the door of a friend being like, dude, their friends are going to come to the show.
Right.
You know, or
Friends. I'm looking at you guys.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Friends.
All we
People
got is
do depend
friends.
on friends. Somebody
Lean
that you
on
can
me.
lean
Oh,
on,
no.
friends. So, what's up? What do you got over there?
Pete Brown, the co-writer of Cream,
Pete Brown.
he died at the age of 82.
Ooh.
All right. The band Cream with Eric Clapton? How old's Eric Clapton? Look that up.
Okay.
Also, dude, what about Ginger Baker? That guy was the
I was
drummer.
just thinking that too. So Ginger Baker has a son. Okay, I think my information is right here, and this is the most obscure band you're going to hear about today. That's a Scott guarantee. I'm going to edit that in post. Anyways,
He's real excited about editing and post.
I am. I really am. Doing like gunshots and stuff. Yeah, everyone do a gunshot. I'll make noises for it. I don't know if I figured that out. That might be difficult. I don't know. I don't think we have the technology for that yet. Anyways, Ginger Baker's son was in a band called Ohm.
Ohm?
OHM. And it's the fucking craziest band of, yeah, it's like sort of progressive. Like, think Joe Satriani with Ginger Baker's son on drums.
Huh.
But they're fucking amazing. I used to listen to the one album that I think they produced over and over and over. Anyways, yeah, look that one up.
Oh.
I think it's OHM, and then there might be the, what do you call the fucking two dots?
Ginger
like if
Baker's
it's a
no
phone,
longer with
remember?
us.
Hmm.
He died in 2019.
Look up his son in that band, because I bet you that's some
Ginger Baker.
maybe still going shit.
Ginger fucking Baker. That dude's a savage, bro.
Well, yeah.
Coffee Baker.
Is that his name?
Mm-hmm. Kofi.
Is he in the band Ohm
Coffee.
still? Or am I totally talking out of my ass and it's not even him?
Yeah, Kathy Baker. Coffee. Is it Kathy or Kathy? Dude, the volumes, we're going to have to
He's
get out
definitely
this volume thing
drummer.
because apparently when I look at the camera
looking
over
at?
there, it doesn't look like we got all the good volumes.
Why don't we have good volume? Yeah, music group Ohm. OHM.
Nice. He's in it?
Yes.
I'm going to talk louder now.
So he's
Does that
54
look better?
years old, lives in Los Angeles, California.
It's fine.
Is he still playing?
We'll
Ohm?
edit it in post.
Yeah, we're going to chop that up in post. Don't worry, people. So I was right. Ohm's a good band. That's a good recommendation. Oh! My other recommendation is I have to fucking look it up because I just watched it this morning and it was a Netflix show and it was funny. Shit. Netflix sketch show. It's like Galactic something or how the fuck do you spell galactic? I'm so dyslexic. Hold on a second. I'm getting there. We'll cut this in post. Don't worry about it. Okay, it's called Astronomy Club. I'm going to fucking tag that shit in here. Don't you worry. Astronomy Club is a very interesting show, and it's funny as fuck. And
What's it about?
it's a sketch show. You know, like what's
Sketch
the closest
comedy?
thing to it? Like Chappelle or Key and Peele or I Think You Should Leave. There's a
Right.
couple other ones. It's fucking banging, bro.
Is it?
I love it. There's only one season, though. I was so bummed. It took me like 2 hours, and I was like, no. Yeah, I got that butt hurtness, that Netflix butt hurt.
I hate
got.
that.
You know, it sucks. Has nothing to do with music, but that's a good recommendation. Watch that shit.
So it looks like a pretty good comedy.
Nice.
TV, mature adults, 2019. It's got 6 episodes.
Oh,
Nice.
it's very mature. Tell you what.
Emphasis on mature.
Yeah.
Mature adults only.
A lot of dicks and butts.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm
Tons of
into that.
dicks.
I'm all about that dick.
Dead air. What's going on?
You know,
I just put new
You're the
strings on the
only
guitar.
one.
All right, trip out on this. Anyone who wants to talk guitar strings, this is fucked up. So I am a lover of DR Strings. It's a company out of, I think, New York or some shit, somewhere back east. And it's all handmade strings, like hand wound. Look up how guitar strings are made. I'm not going to fucking explain it. No, not you. I'm saying anyone who gives a shit. But it's like, it's a whole
Anybody who
thing.
cares.
And these people who, are trained to do it, like it's not any bullshit. Like, to have
what was the company you were talking about?
DR Strings, yeah, New York. I think it's New York, or somewhere in New York State. And I'm talking to a luthier who actually he did the fretless conversion on my classical guitar. I was buying strings from him yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, do you sell DR strings?" And he's like, "Nah, let me tell you why."
Let me tell you something.
And 10 minutes later, basically, it was, you can't replace the strings. There's not a consistency with it because of the handmade. He's like, when you get a good set, they're great, and they sound awesome, and they do last. He was agreeing with every positive thing about the string, but he was like, they are not consistent. And so I bought the fucking Ernie Ball Super Slinkies like every other motherfucker, There's a list of people on the back, rock stars, that use their strings. You know who's right at the top, Tony? Guess.
Slash.
Yep. Anyways, moving on. So I still do love DR strings, and I'm still going to buy them. But, like, that was just an interesting conversation to have. Like, I was trying to leave the fucking shop, and the guy kept telling me why I shouldn't use the strings. Right. And he is one of the most genius guitar luthiers, literally, which a luthier is basically a carpenter for fucking guitars.
Nice.
So
His name's Mark Drange.
His name is Steve Crisp, and you can look him up. His shop is called Guitar Shop on Soquel in Santa Cruz. Soquel in Pennsylvania. I know the side street and everything, right across from Taqueria Santa Cruz on Soquel. Hit up Steve Crisp. He'll tell you why you shouldn't use DR strings.
His name is Robert Paulson.
So Mark
Steve Crisp
Drange
His name is Steve
who makes
Crisp.
DR strings, or was the founder of that.
What is his name, Tone?
His name is Mark Drange.
Okay. What's his deal? Is he
He's
cool?
the son of Guild Guitars founder Alfred Drange.
I actually knew that, yeah. So Guild Guitars that's a great American company, yeah.
That's
a great American guitar, brother.
So it's based out of New Jersey. And they're all handmade, like you said, dude. All handmade.
Back east, yeah.
Dude, I knew this girl when I was young. Sam
never
Metcalf.
met a girl.
I have never. It's true. Sam Metcalf, throw it up. Shout out to Sam Metcalf. Her dad made guitars, and he made these hollow body, or they were like electric guitars, but they weren't even hollow body. They were like these aluminum, like punched
American
out
steel
looking guitars.
Did it look like there was a hubcap on the front of it?
No, it looks like they're like punched out. Gosh, I can't even remember what his. He was such a terrible musician. I don't know fucking shit about fuck all.
Guitars can be very specific. That's because
dude, I'm gonna have to find out. I can't remember what
I think
her.
you're talking about American steel or maybe a dobro, because there are steel body guitars.
He did the drumsticks. He made the drumsticks for Batman 2, like with Michael Keaton, one of the originals.
Someone played drums in that movie?
Yeah, there were drumsticks from a band that like glowed. That glowed. How the fuck?
Oh,
See, this is why I don't know shit. Because I
that
don't
was the
fucking
one.
speak English.
That was the one with Robin in it.
Yeah.
And Batgirl also, Alfred's niece or whatever.
Right. Well, there was the Penguin, bro. There was fucking the Penguin, and that was.
I don't give a shit what people say, man. I like
that was Danny
movies.
DeVito.
Yeah,
the Penguin.
Well, Danny DeVito, that one was great, obviously.
Danny DeVito's fucking great
Keaton
period.
in that one?
I think so.
Okay. Oh, I'm thinking of the Clooney one. Worst Batman for sure, but I still love it. Clooney was the guy with Robin and Batgirl.
Right.
Some bullshit.
Oh yeah. That was.
You know what
bullshit.
though? I'll shout out fucking Danny Elfman. He is He is my favorite composer, music for movies and shit. Score composer, score writer, whatever you call it. Because like all the Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, which I think Tim Burton actually directed that movie that we're talking about, the one with The one with Penguin, I think.
Oh,
might have
yeah, he did.
directed.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. That's very true.
Yeah, so I don't
That's
know.
very true.
All right.
Johnny Depp wasn't in it. Fuck pussy.
You know, yeah, fuck that guy. You
kidding.
know what?
Joking.
He's a weird old pirate wizard now. He's crazy, that guy.
Dude, but can I say something? Where are you going with?
Wait, I had one more thing. Ah, shit, I lost it. I'll get back to it. Go for it.
Okay, I just wanted
It's
to
about
say
Danny
about
Elfman.
composers.
Yes.
Composer. I wanted these. So back when the first synthesizers were made, back in the 50s, this dude, Peter,
Dinklage.
Peter Dink,
Mhm.
Peter
Dink.
Zolanoff, or no, it's not. It's. Anyways, he had
Moog?
No, he had the Electronic Music Studios is what it was called, EMS. Anyways, he made the first suitcase synthesizer. Point is he was a composer also,
Very
and
cool.
he used the synthesizer to compose a song that was like number 2 or something, and the person that beat him was some like famous composer,
Number 2 in.
like out of this competition of who could
Oh,
compose
okay.
the
Okay,
best.
got you. Sorry.
It was like a battle of the composers, battle of the band.
Fuck yeah. That's
And,
awesome.
So it was like an electronic, and then this electronic kind of machine basically went on tour, and they'd have like these like first electronic music shows back in like 59, 60,
That's
Wow.
super cool.
and they'd go to like symphony halls, and like I'm sure people were high and fuck on something, dude, drunk probably, whatever, maybe not, maybe just like, oh, this is so sophisticated.
Well, I heard back in the day that
Maybe drugs
like
don't have anything to do with it,
ecstasy-
kids. Go
Ecstasy or whatever was legal. Like it was actually prescription to people. and
Same
stuff
thing with
like that.
meth. Yeah, like
Cocaine.
women were prescribed
So,
all that shit.
Like, with
Cocaine,
that being
laudanum.
said, you
Weight
know,
loss
they were
shit,
probably
yeah.
having a
Laudanum.
grand
Oh my
time, you
God.
know, taking a bunch of it, going out like, oh, this music's cool. you know,
Getting
it's-
methed up.
They didn't
Back
know.
in the 30s.
Laudanum is heroin with fucking whiskey, right? That's what that was
Laudanum-
what they used in the Civil War when they cut your fucking leg off. They would just like drip laudanum into you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pretty sure it's whiskey and fucking whiskey and like
Probably not
opium.
whiskey. Probably some type of
Super
alcohol.
pure out like grain
Alcohol
alcohol,
of
yeah,
some
whatever
sort.
they had access
Or
to.
maybe just I mean, because you'd have to. You got to think. You got to be able to dilute the, opium into something. Who was
Oh.
it? Gerardo was telling me his grandma would take the opium poppies, grind them up, put them in like rubbing alcohol.
Mm.
And then whenever she'd have an issue, she'd rub the alcohol on her arm and just fucking cured it right up.
Nice.
Old bruja.
Oh, what I was gonna say though, just to prove how cool Danny Elfman is, anyone who likes Nightmare Before Christmas,
Oh, yeah.
Danny Elfman is the voice of Jack Skeleton or Skellington, whatever the hell his
Skellington.
name is.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, and he sings all the songs. He's also in like Corpse Bride, like 5 other movies as the main voice.
Really?
Yes.
He's that shaky voice.
Yeah.
Cool.
He does all those
Edward
voices.
Scissorhands, Danny Elfman, but it's obviously Johnny Depp's.
Edward
Creepy wizard ass.
That was
That's
an
one of my
alright show.
dude. That was one of
That
my
was
favorite
pretty good.
ones
Yeah, I
of
like Edward Scissorhands.
of Burton and Johnny Depp for sure.
It was a good one.
Anyways,
For sure.
It was a good one.
What was that movie we watched last night? The little horror movie that we were watching.
Oh, put the mic up to yourself.
Don't remember that one we were watching last night?
no,
Yeah, I don't either. Must not have been that good then.
probably not.
Probably not.
I probably fucking fell asleep.
Oh, the Crimson Peak.
Is that? Yeah, I think that's what it was.
Oh, the one that I watched 0 of because I was doing dishes and shit, and I was just like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You-
kind of went. I remember I heard like everyone going, and I was like, "What happened?" You're like, "This guy just got killed so brutally," and then
Oh,
there
he
was a guy with his
did.
face caved
just
in.
knife in
And
the
I was like,
face,
well,
bro.
Whatever. No, it was like caved in, like someone broke the knife and was smashing him with the handle or something.
Oh, dude, it was a
pretty
different
cool.
person.
Well, anyways,
That's
there's a lot of
gnarly.
smashing faces and stuff.
The Crimson.
Crimson Peak, dude. That was all right. So we should have some new music coming out soon then.
Yeah,
I know we got some releases. I'm trying to plan them to where just anything that we finish just goes right out to release. So we should have like in June just things starting to pile in week after week after week.
So what are your guys' thoughts on incorporating the fucking weirdness that happened the other night. Again, we'll post a little clip for everybody to enjoy.
I think that would be great. Personally, I think that if we did it, we should get like one. I have one more looper that we could use for like one more, just couple tracks of like, then could be beats, could be something, could be whatever. Mm-hmm. That'd be cool. Loop the sun, here we come.
I was gonna say it.
Don't stare off into
cool.
space.
I'm just trying to think
2D.
about
It's cool
like
too because if you can record those and somehow put like the samples off of what you have on the looper recorded now onto some buttons as well.
and I think we can do that. I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah, I want to take the
We'll get
voices
there.
and actually write the song with that.
Mm-hmm.
A job.
Right.
So I
Well,
guess we're
get a
Reggie,
job,
We're Reggie Watts.
Go
now.
to work. Fall in.
Fall in. Oh my
Get a
god.
job,
I hope we still
go to
have that
work,
one. I think we might have
Fall
deleted
in.
that.
You might
Nick's
have.
diatribe. Well, I blame all of us
I'll
for everything.
kill you.
You're not done. Sit the fuck down.
I didn't get up.
This is a
All
fight.
right,
I'll leave
pause
whenever
the
I
pause
want,
the
dude.
pause
Like-
the movie. Pause the movie.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
Fight.
I like this
Fight.
chair.
It was my
fight,
first time in
fight,
this
I like
chair,
the chair.
so
Fight.
I'm
Fight.
used to it, yeah.
Fight.
Dude, you can have the good chair next time. Because that one, I can tell is falling apart. Then we can fight. Once I get you a comfy chair.
Okay.
Can I tell another story?
Or we just need to get a bunch of
I'm
duct
going to end the
tape.
Well,
podcast.
it's just weird because it's
No.
like
Okay,
my
maybe.
butt
I don't
sitting
know.
on
We
top
could.
of this thing.
I just want to tell a story. Get this off my chest.
Get it off.
I don't know if this is
Clean
really the
clean
time
it
to
off
tell
your
it.
chest.
Okay, so I'm in kindergarten, meaning second grade.
You never was in second.
I was in second grade.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, and I bet this kid David, we'll say, young,
Squire.
disabled kid who really couldn't walk, but I think he was all there, just couldn't really walk. And I bet him I was like, look, the football teams are going this week. And he was like, yeah, my team's going to win. And I was like, nah, I bet you $25 they lose. I didn't have $25. I'm in second grade. Yo, what up? Shout out, Break Bread.
Break bread in the house.
What's up, Shoddy?
What
I don't
up?
know how far I have to go in.
That's it.
Have a good one.
Woo.
Later.
So, second grade, me bet him about this football game that was happening. He can't remember what team he loved, but maybe with the San Francisco Giants, but he loved whatever.
Are you
team.
sure it wasn't the Broncos?
Could
in
have been
that
probably the
area?
Broncos. Yeah.
I remember all the kids in school were in that area were like
Probably all Broncos
Everyone
fans.
wore
God
Broncos.
bless Tom Landry, right?
Well, at that time it
Wasn't
was
he the Broncos
I think
coach?
it
I
was
think it
John Elway was like a really good quarterback.
Yeah,
and
everybody
Michael
was
Jordan.
huge into the Broncos. I never watched football a day in my fucking life. And so I forgot I bet this kid $25 that his
lost.
team would lose, right? So I go home not thinking shit about it. And I come back the next day and he's like, you owe me $25. And I was like, oh. No, and he's like, "Oh, bro, you owe me $25." So this young handicapped kid basically like shook me down for $25.
Strong armed you.
Yeah, no, let's listen about no. There's a little more to it than that. So I go home and grab my quote unquote checkbook that I have because I'm in second grade and I have a checkbook,
Loaded bank account.
loaded bank
fat.
account, huge. And I write him a check for $25 and I take it to school the next day, right? And I'm like, here you go, bro. And he's like, that's not a check. And I was like, that's a check for $25. And he's like, that's not a check. I was like, yeah, go home and ask your mom. That's a check, you know? And he goes home. And obviously the next day he comes back and he's like, bro, that wasn't a check. Like I asked my mom and I was like, I don't know what to tell you other than that was a check, you know? And so I tried to convince this young handicapped kid that I gave him $25, which he was very smart and knew that I didn't give him any fucking money. And to this day, that's weighed on my soul that I'm a pile of shit who tried to sell drugs and convince some young man that a paper check that I made up is a real check. I also convinced some kid that sparkling water was hot and cold water put together. I mean, I don't know, I just did shit.
Didn't you think that girls?
I
peed out of
just
their
did
butts or
shit.
Something? What was that thing? Girls.
Girls had penises, I do believe it
Or
was.
something.
That's a whole nother story.
Well, we talked.
I definitely
about it
thought girls had penises
Yeah,
for a
we-
little while.
Yeah, you were a bit naive for
I was-
sure.
I was-
and then you
dude.
had to ask what the word naive meant.
No,
or
it wasn't. It was actually
gullible,
gullible. And your
Gullible.
picture's next to it in the dictionary.
Whatever. Yours is next to naive because you don't know what it means.
Nah,
Nah, so
look gullible up.
whatever, asshole. As long as I have the bandana on,
I
I'm
did. I
cool.
was gullible. I'll tell you
Or
one
the
last
headband.
story, and we'll call it. So,
God, stories on stories.
fuck, dude. This is
Story
childhood. This
time.
isn't even. This isn't even like touching childhood. This is just shit that happened. Same girl that convinced me how to.
People out there, don't touch childhood. That's not
Yeah.
a good thing to do. Don't do it.
Don't touch childhoods.
Don't do it.
Please don't
So
do that.
I won't. I mean, I'll keep it short to the point. Rest her soul. Her name's Brooke Murray. She's honestly like a sister to me. She grew up. She was actually a really good girl. She passed away probably. I don't know. Maybe almost 10 years ago, 8-7 years ago. She's a really good girl. Anywho, point is when we were young, we were neighborhood kids running around, and I can't remember what happened, but she was like. We went pee somewhere, and I went pee standing up. She went pee standing up, and I was like, "Oh shit, you got a penis?" She's like, "Yeah, I got a penis." I was like, "Yeah, I got a penis too." She's like, "Yeah, basically, I have one too." And I was like, "Oh, crazy! I didn't know that, So I go home at night. And I'm like, "Dad, girls have penises?" And he's like, "Nick," "They do not have penises. They have a vagina." And I was like, "Oh." Well, Brooke told me she had a penis, and he's like, she's lying to you, doesn't have a penis. I was like, oh, okay. So I go back the next day to go play, and I'm like, yo, my dad told me you don't have a penis. You're lying, And she's like, you believe that? And I was like, well, yeah. And she's all, well, you're gullible. And I was like, well, what's gullible? She's like, well, why don't you go back and look it up in the dictionary? I was like, all right. So I fucking go home and ask my dad. My dad, dude. What's gullible? And he's just like, Jesus Christ. I raised an idiot, It was pretty ridiculous. She convinced me that girls could. But I seen her stand up and piss straight up. Watched it. How the fuck? Dude, whatever. Girls can. It was pretty cool. I wouldn't lie.
And Brooke went on to become the lead singer of
The 7 Bands of Dragons.
No, she went on to become
Piss Dragons.
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, she did.
She is now Lady Gaga.
She's now Lady Gaga.
She transitioned to a total fucking weirdo named Lady Gaga.
Fucking dude. Wild shit.
Lady Gak Gak.
She also
Jack 3000.
dude.
Cut that.
Cut him all. All right, good podcast. You fucking suck. Where's your stories at? Where's your childhood stories, bro?
God, rape stories. What
You've
time
ever
we
been
got?
touched
Yeah,
by
it's
your
not
brother?
long
Come
enough.
on, let's get in here.
I remember my stepbrother used to, not like all the time. I hope you're watching. Bleep. Fucking.
I do believe his name is.
Bleep. Anyways, motherfucker would be naked as fuck running around with his tiny little wiener. He would get out of the shower and chase me around the house, and I'm like, don't get your dick on my pants, no! It'd be like a nice sunny day like today, like summertime.
Just throwing your phone.
Like 4 times. And yeah, I'd get chased around.
That's so funny.
I don't know, man. There was a time when he was playing basketball at the park, and some fucking grown up knocked his tooth out. Apparently,
Just punched him right in the mouth.
yeah,
huh?
because he lost the game.
Wow.
And I was like, ha ha! And I got in trouble for that. Because I was like, fuck you, dude.
That's for showing me your dick when you were little.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much.
Dude, this kid Eli, when we were young, knocked this girl, Dusty Reynolds, bro. I watched it. We were sitting there, and they were snowboarding, and he had a snowboard in his hand, and he goes, fap, and hits her in the face. And I was like, oh, fuck, And at the time, I was like, no, you didn't do it on purpose. But now when I look back on it, I was like, that guy is an asshole. He did it on purpose.
Wow.
You know who I'm talking about, Eli. You were a cunt. I see you.
You want to hear a good story about
Dusty
music?
Reynolds has a chipped tooth forever because of that Dusty. Chip tooth Dusty. That's what we used to call her.
Chip tooth?
Chip tooth Dusty?
You want to hear a good music story?
Yeah, let's hear it.
So, I think it was 4th grade or something. There was, we had a music teacher for the school, like for the elementary school. Her
Mr.
name,
Roth?
Miss McLaughlin. Straight out of Ireland.
McLaughlin.
Yes, McLaughlin.
By chance, did she clog?
Probably.
She related to Sarah.
But she had bright fucking red hair and was just like this older lady who played guitar and played piano and sung and like all this shit. And I remember like I actually enjoyed her class. Like she had all these great like songs because I enjoyed singing and stuff and learned about the music a little bit. But the last day of class, she was like fucking getting deported or some shit. She was going back to Ireland.
Yeah.
For all I knew, it was the middle of the semester, so it was kind of a weird thing. Maybe she got knocked up by some fucking dude in some way. I don't know what happened. Shout out Miss McLaughlin. Come on the pod.
Miss McLaughlin. Sarah's mom.
But what happened was we were all so bad that day because we knew it was like her last day. The whole class, we were just assholes. And she ended up getting on the fucking phone in the classroom, calling the office to call our teacher to come get our asses because we were being such dicks. And she left early that day. She was like, "This is fucking just disturbing." Like you guys, and she like gave us a last like word of like, "Fuck all you kids," basically.
Nice.
I mean, it was very. She was like, "Oh, you've treated me so bad today. I don't want to be treated like this." I'm doing Scottish, but let's keep it Scottish because it
Let's
sounds
just
better.
say that's what it is. Let's just
You
say.
treated me like this. I cannot believe it.
I cannot believe
I
it.
feel so used by you children. I loved you. Scott, you over there. You right prick. That's what she said. And then she stormed the fuck out of the class with her guitar. It was pretty cool. And that was
You made her a mad little leprechaun, huh?
Yeah, and that was Miss Marsh's like class, I'm pretty sure, which was like
So she was a
4th or 5th grade.
substitute.
No, she was just the
Miss
music teacher.
McLaughlin was a substitute.
Hey, Miss McLaughlin, here's me hat, here's me umbrella. I'm gonna take off into the sky, lad.
Mrs. Mary McLaughlin.
Didn't it take me Lucky
Poppins.
Charms? You little bastards.
Oh, find me way, don't you worry.
But yeah, then she fucked off back to Ireland after us. That was pretty cool.
Nice.
It was kind of an accomplishment for all of us.
Was it? Maybe you didn't even do it. Maybe she was going there.
Might have been a dream.
anyways.
No, she was leaving. She was going to Ireland. But we knew that we were never going to see her again. So we were just like, fuck this class.
Fuck this class.
It's Friday. Just can't wait till the weekend. You know, it was before Rebecca Black's time or whatever that girl's name is. But
Cool.
Miss McLaughlin was the original Rebecca Black, I think.
Dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Oh, aye, it's Friday. Just can't wait for the weekend.
The weekend.
Oh, aye, lad. Gonna eat my
the
haggis.
weekend. Oh,
I miss
no
the
Irish
McLaughlin.
person beat me up.
What?
The weekend.
Well, I'm doing a Scottish accent.
No one beat Scott up either.
Please don't. But
It'd
yeah,
be a terrible fight.
Miss McLaughlin, yeah, it would. Miss McLaughlin was Irish. She was definitely not Scottish.
Yeah, I know.
She was so sweet. We all actually felt bad. Like I remember talking to a couple classmates and we were just like, "Fuck, dude, I didn't think she was gonna take it that hard." Like,
We were just teasing her because we liked her.
yeah.
Yeah, little kids. You don't know the fucking half of it. Her dad
True
might have
that.
died.
I never thought about
Maybe her
that.
mom died.
Oh, roll the rattling bug way down in the valley. Oh, there's a tree on the stick, on a stick on the tree. That was one of the songs we sang.
Tree on the stick and a stick on the tree.
And a bug on the stick and a twig on the bug. It like would just go smaller.
It
It
just
was
go
like,
bigger and then a bigger and then a smaller and then a smaller and you had to
So,
do it in an
alright.
Irish accent.
there's a bog down in the valley-o. There's a tree in the bog. There's a branch on the tree. There's a stick on the branch. There's a leaf on the stick. Or no, there's a twig on the stick.
stick
There's
on
a
the stick
leaf
and
on
a
the
leaf
twig.
on a twig and
There's a bug on the
And a
leaf.
bug on a leaf.
Way down in the valley-o. And then you have to like go backwards.
There's a bug on a
There's
twig
bug
and a twig on
there's
a
a bug
leaf.
on a leaf, on a twig, on a stick, on a branch, on a tree, in a bog, way down in the valley.
I could never.
Hey,
I couldn't do my fucking ABCs backwards.
No,
Me
I
either.
can't either.
That's hard.
that's why I have 6 DUIs. Got him.
Got it. Pistol fingers. Pistol finger.
Well, that's pretty good. Sorry, Miss McLaughlin. I hope you lived a good life and you're still alive and you're just living in Ireland and you're so happy.
And you're fucking happy. And
chilling.
see
You have
this.
good students to teach and not us shithead Californians. Because we suck,
that.
I agree.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yep.
Dead air.
Nick's breaking the rule.
I did. I
burping,
just
burping.
straight broke the
Just
rule because it's the
burping,
end
yes,
of the
indeed.
podcast.
Burping, just yes.
You know why I did that? Because of that. Because you do it. And you look so good.
Nick did it into the microphone the other night and recorded a song with it. It was pretty
I
fucked
did.
up.
It was a good song. All right.
Yeah, it was
If you guys want to fart, have a farting contest, we'll just pan on out of this video and do that later.
How should we end the podcast?
With
How's
some
it-
music.
What's a good way for the? Well, yeah, no, there's that. Is there a good thing?
How's your mom doing?
Maybe just me.
No one cares. Right?
That was it. That was definitely it. All right, you got it. You got it. No, I like that. I think anyone getting cut off is a good way to. And there it is, right there. Right, just cut me off right there. Right, a good way to click.
Shut up. Beep. That little fucking lost signal.
Fuck everyone.
Fuck you.